Subscribe now for your regular dose of Asian health information.
This weight thing, is very challenging because most times weight is not something you can decide for yourself. Meaning, you can decide if you want to go somewhere, you want to stand up, sit down, but you can't decide what your body temperature should be, or what your heart rate should be, or what your blood pressure should be. Some of these things are actually vital functions in the body that are controlled automatically. And people don't realize that weight is also one of those things. So, for example, if somebody decides to train for a run, let's say you want to do a 10K, right? And then you start going out, running, training, that will make you then adopt a certain eating behavior, your training schedule, right? And that will lead to changes in your body weight. Not because you wanted to change your body weight, but because you wanted to do something and your body then adapts to help you to do that. So what I think is most people are on the wrong ball. You want to fix your weight, fix your life, set some goals, have some clear idea where you're going, then your body will just follow along. You know, I mean, that's the amazing thing about the human body. A lot of people come and say, I want to be this weight. Today I had a girl this morning came and said, you know, I'm 90 kilos right now. I hate being this 90 kilos. I want to be about 65. So I'm like, okay, but what do you really want to do? What do you like? And she said, oh, I like to dance. So I said, that's great. So if you like to dance and think about, you know, if you want your husband to or your partner to kind of fling you around and you're going to be really twirling on the floor and all that, you need to move your weight, right? But in doing that, spending more time dancing, training, your body will adjust. So for example, when you go for lunch later, if you had to go for dance class after that, would you eat a huge meal, go in a lot of fried chicken, a lot of curry, or you won't, right? You automatically pick the foods that will keep you light so that later when you go and do the thing that you enjoy, it will be fun and you can really gain from that experience, which is what you want to do. So it's about goal setting. Set the goals that you really want to achieve and all these other things will kind of fall into place. Gastric bypass surgery can be considered like the grandfather of weight loss surgery. It was first done in the 60s and basically involves dividing the stomach to make it smaller and bypassing the flow of food from the stomach into the intestine, the lower part. Basically think of it that when we eat food, the food first goes to the stomach. So from the stomach, it then travels through the intestine, which is about 6 to 8 meters long, in order to absorb all the nutrients. If we reduce the amount of food the stomach can hold and reduce the length of intestine that is exposed to the food, or the food is exposed to, so you can reduce the absorption, overall you will reduce the amount of nutrients, and including fat, carbohydrate and all that's absorbed by the body, right? So that's the principle of the gastric bypass, to make the stomach smaller and bypass part of the intestine. So you shorten the length of absorption as well. So that was an operation that was developed years and years ago. And that's kind of evolved into gastric band surgery, where the stomach is just made tighter with a band placed around the stomach, and another procedure called gastric sleeve surgery, where the stomach is stapled so that the volume the stomach can hold is smaller, 50% or less than what a normal stomach can hold. So all these things are actually quite important, not so much because they prevent people from eating, but more important because it gives people that sense of fullness. A lot of people, once they get used to eating larger and larger meals, right, they're not satisfied with a smaller meal. So the body starts to crave for the same size of food portion. And this is the big problem when people have become used to eating a big portion. So it's not so easy to say, hey, just eat less, you'll be all right. Because that stimulus or motivation is not strong enough to overcome this craving from the stomach. And so that's why for some people, these kind of surgical procedures can help them to control that craving. And then that helps them then, to eat less, so the weight comes down, they become more active, then they start moving into a new lifestyle. Ultimately, it's the new habits and the new lifestyle that maintains that whole new health status that the patient has achieved. Almost every machine that you stand on will spit out an ideal weight or an optimal weight, right? But that's just a number. And actually, most of us do very well within quite a wide weight range. So don't worry, if you see that number on a machine that you're being told you should be 55 kg or 60 kg, you can probably be about 20% heavier than that and you'd probably be all right. Because what happens is, it's not so much about the weight alone, it's about what you're doing with your body. You know, how fit you are, how active you are. So if you can walk, easily a couple of miles, you can do a 5K run, then you're probably all right. So it's really about what you can do rather than what the number is. Health is the main determinant of your health. Weight is not so important. We're much more sensitive markers to look at your health status. For example, your fasting blood sugar level, your blood pressure, resting heart rate. All of these are very simple to check, and you very quickly know whether you're reasonably healthy or not.
Subscribe now for your regular dose of Asian health information.